Hi, I'm Julia LePage, Operational Excellence Lead for the Missouri Department of Mental Health. I'm here today with Carrie Tesoro to talk with you about Missouri Better Government through Operational Excellence. The objective of today's webinar is to explain three main things. 1. What is operational excellence? 2. Why are we talking about this and what does it mean for me at my job? And 3. To provide managers and supervisors with clear directions and tools for sharing this information with DMH employees. All of Missouri state government, including the Department of Mental Health, has started on a plan to transform how we do business by creating a culture that uses fact-based decision-making and continuous improvement in everything we do. The essential components for continuous improvement include clearly defined goals, developing systems to track and report on the progress of those goals, that includes the process excellence and performance management parts, and then also to provide opportunities for staff to build professional development and management skills. By focusing on these essential elements of continuous improvement, DMH will be able to achieve as a higher performing agency that better serves our citizens. So now that you know what operational excellence is, it's important to understand why we are talking about this. These continuous improvement efforts should improve outcomes along 5 major areas. Those include increased efficiency, more transparency, more focus, increased accountability, and this includes accountability to our colleagues and coworkers as well as the citizens that we support, allowing for a more citizen-friendly agency overall. So operational excellence is about transforming how we do business by creating a culture that uses fact-based decision-making and continuous improvement in everything we do to improve across these 5 outcomes. There are a number of activities and initiatives that have been started to assist in implementing the Operational Excellence Framework. This graphic can help you visualize the 4 key elements of operational excellence areas of effort and how these specific activities fall within. Activities can be organized around the 4 key elements of effort that are shown in the outermost circle. These include focused direction, performance management, process excellence, and talent growth. So we'll briefly talk through these. As you can see, focused direction includes clearly defining priorities and communicating those priorities. The DMH Placemat is the tool we are using to help focus our direction, monitor progress, and continue moving forward. Strategic planning, evaluation, and assessment of the agency would also fall into this area. Moving clockwise around the circle brings us to performance management. By collecting and accurately analyzing appropriate data, our agency will be able to make fact-based decisions and work smarter rather than harder. Efforts have been ongoing to transform the statewide budget process to include smart performance measures. We've also been working to develop easy-to-use agency dashboards that allow management and supervisors to monitor and track operational performance as well as the progress on change initiatives. The department and division dashboards are available online on the Operational Excellence page. Continuing clockwise, we come to process excellence. While continuous improvement is a component of everything, implementing process excellence into our core business functions will help us institutionalize lean management concepts and also allow evaluation of how we are performing. Expansion of Six Sigma training, along with the quarterly pulse survey, are tools agencies are currently using to instill process excellence. And we'll cover each of those activities specifically also. Finally, talent growth and development will be crucial to our success. A number of investments are made to assist agencies in development of their talent, some of it you may have already heard of. The state of Missouri has been conducting the Missouri Way Training Academy for senior leaders in each agency. In addition, Engage has been implemented to improve how we communicate and develop our team members, along with the Missouri Learning Initiative. This is an online learning tool that has been launched. With so many moving parts in the Operational Excellence Framework, DMH will initially be focusing on 3 activities that we just mentioned. One is the DMH Placemat, the second is Missouri Learning Initiative, and the third is the quarterly pulse survey. As we become adept at these, we will shift focus to new ongoing operational excellence activities. So the first is the DMH Placemat. This is a simple document that summarizes the shared goal and priorities of the department. The main categories of this document include the aspiration for DMH that's supporting recovery, independence, and self-sufficiency of Missourians. The next area includes themes, which are our main lines of effort to achieve our aspiration. The DMH themes focus on recovery, employment, behavior, independence, and workforce development. Underneath the themes are specific initiatives. These are activities that will advance the DMH themes and aspirations. And following the themes are measures. How are we going to understand if we are on track with the different initiatives, or do we need to make adjustments? These strategic management priorities help agencies and the public know exactly where the agency is headed. Development and implementation of a department placemat helps agencies to focus on core business functions and agency priorities. The second activity to cover today includes the Missouri Learning Initiative, powered by LinkedIn. This is a new professional development resource for the state of Missouri team members. It's an online learning platform that allows team members to access more than 7,400 courses. The tool is available to all state team members where they are, geographically and professionally, and is available when they need it. Team members can access the online tool anytime, day or night, and complete the courses at their own pace. Another activity is the Quarterly Pulse Survey. This is approximately 20 questions and is used to track the progress of each agency's performance regarding direction, performance in leadership, accountability, motivation, and external orientation. This survey tool is used to help us track how we are working together and how we are doing on major statewide initiatives, and also how we can improve. The survey comes out quarterly and all responses are anonymous. It is important that all team members participate in the Quarterly Pulse surveys and take the opportunity to provide leadership with genuine feedback. All responses are calculated and all individual comments are read by the division and department leadership. So now that we have gone over the Operational Excellence Framework and identified DMH's initial focus areas, and that includes the placemat, MoLearning, Quarterly Pulse survey, I'll turn it over to Carrie to discuss how we are going to put Operational Excellence Framework into action at our department.
Thank you. As Julie said, I'm Carrie Tesreau, and I serve on several of the Operational Excellence teams at the department. I'm going to talk with you today about the DMH Engage initiative, which begins this month. To help us put the Operational Excellence Framework into action, DMH will be utilizing the Engage meetings to talk with all staff about better government through operational excellence. Over the course of fiscal year 20, which runs July 2019 through June of 2020, all managers and supervisors are expected to set aside a few minutes during their Engage meetings to discuss operational excellence. At this time, there are 4 specific topics to be covered during the Engage meetings: the Operational Excellence Concept, the DMH Placemat, the MoLearning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey. Your initial Engage conversation regarding the Operational Excellence Framework may be a more lengthy conversation, but the other topics can easily be covered in more detail with just a few minutes. Managers and supervisors can structure their Engage conversations in any manner that works best for them and their direct reports. You can choose to cover all the topics in one meeting, which may make for a longer Engage, or you can address topics over several meetings. Either way, operational excellence should be something that is discussed, followed up on multiple times throughout fiscal year 20. Your initial discussion should introduce or reintroduce the Better Government through Operational Excellence concept and briefly touch on the core activities of the DMH Placemat, the MoLearning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey. As time goes on, you can introduce additional Better Government initiatives and activities as they are rolled out. While managers and supervisors have a lot of leeway in discussing the Operational Excellence Framework during their Engage meetings, we are encouraging all managers and supervisors to follow the timeline above for discussions. From July to September, managers and supervisors should, at a minimum, have initial discussions with their direct reports to introduce the Operational Excellence Framework. This initial discussion should include a detailed conversation of better government through operational excellence. During this meeting, briefly touch on DMH's 3 core activities, the Placemat, the MoLearning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey, and that DMH will be focusing on these areas for the next several months. Be sure to let staff know you'll continue to discuss these efforts over the next year. Hopefully, some staff are already familiar with operational excellence, but if not, that's okay. Keep the conversations tailored to the team members' knowledge of the operational excellence efforts. Spend more time with staff that have not heard of our efforts yet, but feel free to review more quickly with staff that are more familiar. If time and schedules allow, managers and supervisors are encouraged to begin having more in-depth discussions about the DMH Placemat, Mo Learning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey during the months of July, August, and September. For October, November, and December, our focus shifts to the more in-depth discussions of the core activities, if you haven't already had that conversation. Of course, in a perfect world, everyone would be able to have the initial conversation and the more in-depth conversations of the core activities from July to September. However, we recognize that it's not a perfect world and stuff happens. If you were able to have all the discussions or elected to have one or two longer engaged meetings that covered everything, great. If not, now's the time to focus on having more detailed conversations with team members about the DMH Placemat, the Mo Learning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey. Again, these conversations do not have to take a lot of time. They really can be covered in just a few minutes of one of your regular engaged meetings. From January to June, managers should continue to revisit the Operational Excellence Framework and the DMH core activities as appropriate during your engaged meetings. You don't have to discuss operational excellence every month, but you should revisit the topics when necessary and appropriate. For example, be sure to discuss when an updated DMH Placemat has been released. You can ask about Mo Learning and any courses staff may have completed. You can recommend specific courses for staff to take through the Mo Learning Initiative. And be sure to discuss updates to the Quarterly Pulse Survey, letting your staff know when new surveys will be coming out and when the results have been released. Also ask supervisors if they have been discussing the operational excellence in their engaged meetings. And finally, use the engaged meetings to introduce new operational excellence activities as they become available. Now that we know what the Operational Excellence Engage Initiative is, it's time to discuss the expectations for all DMH managers and supervisors. The first is pretty simple. Implement the Operational Excellence Engage Initiative by having the discussions during your engaged meetings with your direct reports as outlined in this webinar. You can begin now. You don't have to wait for your direct supervisor to get started on implementation. DMH will be providing tools to assist managers and supervisors in these efforts. For managers and supervisors that have indirect reports, you need to provide clear direction to all supervisors to have similar discussions with their direct reports, and so on until all DMH staff have been reached. Follow up with those managers and supervisors to ensure the conversations are occurring. You can ask your managers and supervisors if they've had the conversations and report on progress to your supervisor. Ask if second-level supervisors have scheduled or have had operational excellence conversations with their staff, and so on down the line. Ask how the conversations are progressing. Do your supervisors feel comfortable having them? Do they need assistance from you? And continue to follow up each month until all staff you supervise directly or indirectly have had a conversation regarding operational excellence and its components. Finally, all managers and supervisors should also ensure that all new staff are introduced to the Better Government through Operational Excellence concept and its core activities during an engaged meeting within the first 3 months of beginning employment. As we briefly mentioned, to support managers and supervisors in the implementation of the Operational Excellence Engage Initiative, DMH has developed several tools for managers and supervisors. These tools are meant to increase managers' understanding of the Better Government through Operational Excellence transformation and to provide tangible tools to assist in discussions with staff. The first tool is this webinar. This can and should be shared widely across the department to increase everyone's understanding of the Better Government through Operational Excellence concept. Managers and supervisors can also utilize the Missouri Better Government website to increase their own understanding of operational excellence. Some might find it helpful to view the website with their staff during an engaged meeting. In addition to these resources, DMH has developed a series of engaged discussion tools to assist managers and supervisors during their engaged conversations. 4 tools have been developed: Operational Excellence, DMH Placemat, Mo Learning Initiative, and the Quarterly Pulse Survey. Each of these tools contains a brief introduction or overview to the topic, departmental expectations of managers and supervisors, and specific conversation tips and directions to help guide the discussion. These tools, along with this webinar, are available on the DMH intranet site. Managers and supervisors can view the tools as needed throughout the year, or they can be printed off for any supervisor to use as a quick reference during their engaged meetings.
We hope that you have found this webinar helpful and that you have a better understanding of our improvement efforts through operational excellence. Be sure to visit the DMH intranet site for continued access to this webinar and the Engage Conversation tools. There is also information available at the DMH Internet site for operational excellence. Questions or comments regarding the operational excellence concepts, the DMH placemat, the quarterly pulse survey, or Mo Learning can be directed to your supervisor or to me directly at the email listed on the slide. Thanks again.